Hi friends, this is your friend Sandeep. Let's learn grammar. I buy butter, but butter is bitter, so I buy more butter to make the bitter better. You buy butter, but butter is bitter, so you buy more butter to make the bitter better better. They buy butter, but butter is bitter, so they buy more butter to make the bitter better better. He buys butter, but butter is bitter, so he buys more butter to make the bitter better better. She buys butter, but butter is bitter, so she buys more butter to make the bitter better better. We buy butter, but butter is bitter, so we are buy more butter to make the bitter better better. I am buying butter, but butter is bitter, so I am buying more butter to make the bitter better better. You are buying butter, but butter is bitter, so you are buying more butter to make the bitter better better. They are buying butter, but butter is bitter, so they are buying more butter to make the bitter better better. He is buying butter, but butter is bitter, so they are buying more butter to make the bitter better better. She is buying butter, but butter is bitter, so she is buying more butter to make the bitter better better. We are buying butter, but butter is bitter, so we are buying more butter to make the bitter better better. I have bought butter, but butter is bitter, so I have bought more butter to make the bitter better better. You have bought butter, but butter is bitter, so you have bought more butter to make the bitter better better. They have bought butter, but butter is bitter, so they have bought more butter to make the bitter better better. He has bought butter, but butter is bitter, so he has bought more butter to make the bitter better better. She has bought butter, but butter is bitter, so she has bought more butter to make the bitter better better. We have bought butter, but butter is bitter, so we have bought more butter to make the bitter better better. I have been buying butter, but butter is bitter, so I have been buying more butter to make the bitter better better since morning. You have been buying butter, but butter is bitter, so you have been buying more butter to make the bitter better better since morning. They have been buying butter, but butter is bitter, so they have been buying more butter to make the bitter better since morning. He has been buying butter, but butter is bitter, so he has been buying more butter to make the bitter better since morning. She has been buying butter, but butter is bitter, so she has been buying more butter to make the bitter better since morning. We have been buying butter, but butter is bitter, so we have been buying more butter to make the bitter better since morning. I bought butter, but butter was bitter, so I bought more butter to make the bitter better. You bought butter, but butter was bitter, so you bought more butter to make the bitter better. They bought butter, but butter was bitter, so they bought more butter to make the bitter better. He bought butter, but butter was bitter, so he bought more butter to make the bitter better. She bought butter, but butter was bitter, so she bought more butter to make the bitter better. We bought butter, but butter was bitter, so we bought more butter to make the bitter better. I was buying butter, but butter was bitter, so I was buying more butter to make the bitter better. You were buying butter, but butter was bitter, so you was buying more butter to make the bitter better. They were buying butter, but butter was bitter, so they were buying more butter to make the bitter better. He was buying butter, but butter was bitter, so he was buying more butter to make the bitter better. She was buying butter, but butter was bitter, so she was buying more butter to make the bitter better. We were buying butter, but butter was bitter, so we were buying more butter to make the bitter better. I had bought butter, but bitter was bitter, so I had bought more butter to make the bitter better. You had bought butter, but butter was bitter, so you had bought more butter to make the bitter better. They had bought butter, but butter was bitter, so they had bought more butter to make the bitter better. They had bought butter, but butter was bitter, so they had bought more butter to make the bitter better. He had bought butter, she had bought butter, but butter was bitter, so she had bought more butter to make the bitter better. We had bought butter, but butter was bitter, so we had bought more butter to make the bitter better. I had been buying butter, but butter was bitter, so I have been buying butter to make the bitter better since morning. You have been buying butter. You had been buying butter, but butter was bitter, so you had been buying more butter to make the bitter better since morning. They had been buying butter, but butter was bitter, so they had been buying more butter to make the bitter better since morning. He had been buying butter, but butter was bitter, so he had been buying more butter to make the bitter better since morning. She had been buying butter, but butter was bitter, so she had been buying more butter to make the bitter better since morning. We had been buying butter, but butter was bitter, so we had been buying more butter to make the bitter better since morning. I will buy butter, but butter is bitter, so I will buy more butter to make the bitter better. You will buy butter, but butter is bitter, so you will buy more butter to make the bitter better. They will buy butter, but butter is bitter, so they will buy more butter to make the bitter better. He will buy butter, but butter is bitter, so he will buy more butter to make the bitter better. She will buy butter, but butter is bitter, so she will buy more butter to make the bitter better. We will buy butter, but butter is bitter, so we will buy more butter to make the bitter better. I will be buying butter, but butter is bitter, so I will be buying more butter to make the bitter better. You will be buying butter, but butter is bitter, so you will be buying more butter to make the bitter better. They will be buying butter, but butter is bitter, so they will be buying more butter to make the bitter better. He will be buying butter, but butter is bitter, so they will be be buying more butter to make the bitter butter better. She will be buying butter, but butter is bitter, so she will be buying more butter to make the bitter butter better. We will be buying butter, but butter is bitter, so we will be buying more butter to make the butter better. I will have bought butter, but butter is bitter, so I will have bought more butter, so to make the bitter butter better. You will have bought butter, but butter is bitter, so you will have bought more butter to make the bitter butter better. They will have bought butter, but butter is bitter, so they will have bought more butter to make the bitter butter better. He will have bought butter, but butter is bitter, so he will have bought more butter to make the bitter butter better. She will have bought butter, but butter is bitter, so she will have bought more butter to make the butter better. We will have bought butter, but butter is bitter, so we will have bought more butter to make the bitter butter better. I will have been buying butter, but butter is bitter, so I will be buying more butter to make the bitter butter better since morning. You will have been buying butter, but butter is bitter, so you will be having buying bitter butter to make the bitter butter better since morning. They will have been buying butter, but butter is bitter, so they will have been buying bitter butter better to since morning. He has been buying butter, but butter is bitter, so he has been buying more butter to make the bitter butter better since morning. She has been buying butter, but butter is bitter, so she has been buying more butter to make the bitter butter better since morning. We have been buying butter, but butter is bitter, so we have been buying more butter to make the bitter butter better since morning. Thank you guys.